Welcome back to the course. We're still in lesson 2, and in this video we're actually going to start developing the game. So till now we've just been downloading and installing things and preparing the project, but now the actual fun part of the development starts. So let's start making the game. So if you open up our Microsoft Visual C++, on the recent project you'll find our game. So let's open it up, and this is where we left off. And now we have to create a CPP file. So on the left, under source files, right click, add a new item, and we want to add a C++ file. Now we usually name the first file main with a capital M, so let's just do it the default way, and after that we click add. And on the left, as you can see, under source files, the main CPP file was created. I'm going to hide the output window by clicking the small pin button to auto hide. So that way we have more space for the code, because now we're actually going to start coding. Also make sure that you're in the debug mode, but it doesn't really matter. So here I'm going to give you a crash course in C++. As I said, programming knowledge is required to take this course, so this will be really quick. So every C++ program starts with an int main, and then between the brackets the actual program is happening. At the end of int main there's a return 0 call which closes the application. Now before the int main, at the very start we define the libraries. We already set in the project where SFML is located and that we're actually going to use it, but we have to do that again in the actual code. We have to define that we're going to use SFML, and we do that by writing include, and then in comments we write SFML slash and then graphics.hpp. Make sure to use Visual Studio's code completion. It's very useful and it helps you a lot when you don't know the name of the functions. And we're also going to use the library to handle console, so you do another include, and between quilments we put ios trim. As you can see, code completion already found, so you can press enter to complete it. Before the main we also define global variables, functions and classes. So here we could define a class like a player, or define a function, or define a global variable. Let's say it could be an integer and the variable would be named a, and we would assign a value of 5 to it. But we won't be doing that for some time, so let's just go into the main part of the program and let's actually create the window. In all SFML functions start with an SF suffix and then a double colon. And now we want to create a window, and our window is named render window. So I just opened code completion by pressing Ctrl and space. So this opens this little menu which helps you find all the functions and classes. So we want a render window. Now let's put a name to the variable or the object, and let's name it window. And in brackets we call the default constructor. By using the up and down arrows on my keyboard, I can switch between the code completion for the constructor, which also helps a lot. So first we have to define a video mode in which we tell how big our window is going to be. So we do SF double colon and video mode again, and in brackets we put the resolution. So let's make it 800 by 600. Then we have to define the name of the video. So first is the SF video mode, then a comma, and the name of the window in not brackets, but quotation marks. Let's call it SFML game. Every statement in C++ ends with a semicolon. So if we actually run this now by clicking the green Start Debugging button, a console will open and then a window, and it will immediately close. Because when the application started, the window was created, and then immediately return 0 was called, which close the application. So let's add a wait to it, and we can add a wait in the console. So we do an std double comma cin, which stands for console input, dot get, and brackets. This statement just says that the console is going to wait for input. So the window is going to be created, and then the console waits for an enter input, and after that the console and the window closes. So let's start the application by using F5 or the green arrow, and the window stays open. You cannot move it because we don't have a game loop yet, but you can see it's a big 800 by 600 pixels window, and if you click on the console and press enter, it's going to close. Now this is the very basic of creating the window. In the next video we're going to actually learn how to create the game loop, so things are going to get a lot more interesting. From there on we're going to handle events and then start rendering things to the screen. So make sure to continue with the course. Thanks for now.